Welcome to the Small Steps, Big Wins podcast. I'm dedicated to helping you take control of your life. Together, we'll explore practical tips, expert advice, and inspiring stories to help you overcome obstacles and achieve your goals. Making small changes is possible and can lead to big results. Are you ready? Let's go do this. Welcome to another Wednesday Wisdom. I was laying in bed the other night and the following saying came to my mind. I'm pretty sure it's original, so I'll take credit for it, but here it goes. Make peace with your demons of the past, or they will appear to sabotage your future. So I'll say that again. Make peace with the demons of your past, or they will appear to sabotage your future. So when you hear that word, demons, you're probably thinking about things like alcohol abuse or drug abuse, those rather deep vices that can be ingrained in people. And I'm not discounting that. They really, truly are demons. But I want you to take another look at your life today. If you don't fall into that category, and if you do, please keep listening because I think there's some value here for you as well. Me personally, I didn't have any of those demons. So the more I pondered this statement that popped into my mind, the more I thought to myself, well, wait, I don't have any demons. I'm good. I didn't have alcohol or drug abuse in my past. So I thought, well, I've got no demons. And I didn't think I had any as I wandered through life either. But as I started to think a little bit of my past, I started to wonder, maybe there are some demons there. So quick background on me. My parents divorced at 13. I met my first husband at 14. I was married at 20. And by 21, I realized getting married at 20 wasn't quite the best decision. 3 kids, and 23 years later, I got divorced at 46. But here's the thing. I thought getting divorced was the answer to my problems. The problem is that it didn't address the demons that were in my childhood. So I didn't have that self-awareness to realize that the problem was inside of me. And I thought the problem was outside of me. So lately I was asking myself the question, where are my demons hiding? And basically I asked that of myself last year. And as I went through my life, you have to go back in time a little bit. There were no such things as personal coaches. Well, maybe there were, but there weren't the personal coaches for people like we have today. There might have been business coaches and things like that, but the only option you had in the day, and I'm going back 20 years or so, is that you had traditional therapy. And if you weren't willing to pay, $90, $100, $200 an hour for somebody, it really wasn't an option. So I wandered through most of my life trying to fix my problems myself. Now, the interesting thing about trying to fix problems yourself is that sometimes you convince yourself that you can, but in reality, what's happening is you're just putting a Band-Aid on the surface and you're not usually getting to the root of what it is that's going on the inside. And that was my case. I used to look at all the things on the outside and I thought those were the outside demons. So if I changed my living situation, my problems would be fixed. If I bought a different car, my problems would be fixed. If I changed my job, my problems would be fixed. The problem with looking outside is a lot of times that's temporary. And in my case, it didn't really produce the fruit that I was looking for. So before we can even fix the problem, we have to understand that we have a problem that needs to get fixed. In life and reality, in reality, anything you do, awareness is the first key to change. You can't change something that you're not aware of. So for me, the awareness came last summer over a series of incidents that happened. And I got to the point where I realized that, I can't do this change on my own anymore. I need to do something different. So for me personally, what I did was I sought out a personal coach. I am part of a mastermind, and a lot of people in there were talking about their coaches, how their coaches helped them there, do this, do that. And I was pretty skeptical and resistant to a coach for quite a few months. And at some point I realized, okay, I can't do this on my own. Something's not missing. And I had to go back into my past and deal with the demons back there in order to accelerate my progress in creating the future that I wanted and the future that's right in front of me. So you're probably thinking at this moment that, hey, well, okay, since I don't have the serious demons, maybe I do have a couple of those little ones hanging around there. And because the name of my podcast is Small Steps, Big Wins, let's dive into some small steps. So here's some things that had helped my process of transformational change. Here's one thing I did. I grabbed a piece of paper, pen and pencil, and I started journaling stories of my past that came up for me and that resonated in a way with me that didn't make me feel good. From there, I sat with those stories. I read them out loud, read them to myself. I took deep breaths as I was reading them. And over time, after putting them on paper, they tended not to have the same control over me as they did when they were just in my head. So I would encourage you that if you have something that, might be lurking in there, think about those two or three situations that just sit or resonate with you negatively. Try writing them out. See what happens. Now, if you want a few more options, there are a few. You can go the traditional therapeutic route. For me personally, that didn't help. It has helped many, many, many people. For me personally, that didn't help. Another route you can do is the self-help route where you go online. I mean, today there is so much information available on the internet. Again, I'm going back to my experience 20 years ago, even 30 years ago. Believe it or not, there was no internet. So if you wanted to find out information, you had to get a magazine, you had to go to the library, you had to ask other people. So trying to find that self-help for me, it didn't really work. And, every once in a while something would change, but it was never on a long-term scale. The third option is the one that worked for me. And that was I found a transformational life coach. And the only reason that I'm here and I can do what I'm doing is because of my coach. See, what he did for me was he allowed to be an outside, objective observer of my life. He was skillful to help me find my demons and not only find them, but give me the tools to deal with them so that they didn't sabotage my future. The superpower of a coach is that you have somebody who's taking that look at your life from the outside. Now, you don't have to hire a coach. You could have somebody in your life, like your spouse, partner, significant other, parent, friend. You could have somebody who is looking at your life from the outside and they're really being objective to help you to see what it is that might be holding you back and help you with that change that needs to occur from within. However, if you're still not sure where to begin, I do have a resource. There's a website called personalcoachfinder.com. And on it, you can sign up for a free PDF and grab a checklist on how to find your perfect coach. And my coach is listed on that platform. There's a lot of great people on there. All of them at some point have either been on my podcast or will be on my podcast. So you can check them out as well. So like I said, if you don't know where to start your journey to slay your demons and slay those dragons, go see if a coach is somebody who can help you. Thanks so much for the gift of your time. If you found any value at all out of this, please share it with a friend. And I would be very appreciative if you took a moment to leave a 5-star review. It means an awful lot to me, and it would help elevate the message of this podcast. So, what's your one small step that you're going to do today that's going to help you change your tomorrow? Go make today awesome, friends. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Small Steps, Big Wins podcast. I value your time with me, and I seek to make every moment count. In order to make lasting change in your life, listening is usually not enough. So I want to ask you, what practical steps are you going to put into action today as a result of listening to this podcast? Remember, any step, any action, no matter how small, starts your journey to a big win. And if you're not sure where to get started, check out my website, personalcoachfinder.com, and find someone who can help. Remember, life doesn't get better by chance, it gets better by choice. Take small steps today and make your life awesome, friends.